Everyone. A very warm welcome to today's edition of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, so we are on time, right? Almost on time. Great. So Radhe Radhe, good morning, good evening, everyone. So very warm welcome to all of you.
Wrong screen, Nitin.
Yeah, wrong screen.
Wrong screen.
Was saying checking for updates.
It was showing that, yeah. Yes.
Now it's fine.
Okay. All right. So let's get started with our opening prayers. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurudevo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Radhe Radhe. Morning, good evening, everyone. Give me a sec. A very warm welcome to all of you. So let's get started with today's topic. Like we always do, we'll get started with our soul soup segment. So it's like, so as part of soul soup segment, we have been talking about problems and how do we look at problems and can we avoid problems in life? We said we cannot. It's a part and parcel of life. And today we are going to talk about what do we stand to gain when we embrace problems. So yesterday we left right. We need to learn to embrace problems, not only anticipating it, preparing for it, facing it, embracing it. Because hardships, when we embrace, we come out better and stronger. Now today we'll talk a little bit. Yesterday we spoke about the Steve Jobs, the life of Steve Jobs, how he was able to channelize each adversity that he faced in life towards an opportunity that held him in good stead in long run. So today we're going to talk about tangible benefits of facing a problem. So the first one is you can't ignore it. When the problem comes, you cannot cover your head and bury your head in the sand and say wish it away. You can't ignore it. You just have to face it. Okay, and it is going to catch your attention. So it is something that is going to catch your attention. Then it is an opportunity for self-discovery because you have to evaluate your current situation and what kind of response you are able to throw at it, right? So it's a great opportunity for us to do a self-discovery. Now, when we talk about self-discovery, it's like when the squeeze is applied, right? When some hardship, adversity can bring out the worst in us, or it can bring out the best in us. Both both things can happen. It can go either way. So it's like when you apply a squeeze to a grape juice will come out. And when you apply a squeeze to a lemon, the lemon will come out. So whatever we have acquired when things are fine, or whatever resilience we have built, or whatever nature that we have built, it is going to come out in adversity. Right? When the going get tough and the squeeze is applied to us, it brings out either your best or your worst. And it's a good opportunity for us to do a self-discovery when we face a problem. The third one is it challenges with failure, which compels us to raise our game. Now you are forced to exert. I think there's a saying in English which says you dig deep into your pockets only. You have to dig deep into your pockets only. When you have to when you're not able to find anything, right? Um, like classic case of Israel. So if you look at Israel, those were Jews who were, cornered into a particular part of the world and surrounded by Arabs and pretty much an animosity all around. And that is where they really had to exert themselves. So much so that they developed a drip technology to produce rice in sand, drip technology to produce rice in sand. And their commando agency, just because it's a need of the, like they say, necessity is the mother of invention. Their the commandos or their defense is so strong that it is one of the best. Some of the operations that they have carried out in the face of adversity, because they had to face the difficulty, right? It was a matter of survival for them. And some of the amazing operations that they have carried out, the hostages midair, all that stuff, it is stuff of the legends. But how did it happen? Because they were forced to exert themselves. And when you don't have a choice and when you are really pushed to the wall, you are forced to raise your game. That is another thing that problems do to us. And then, last but not the least, it makes us internally strong. You would see whenever you have faced the problems in life, whenever we come out of an adversity, it definitely makes us stronger. So I think the Robert H. Schuller, I don't know, he has said that tough times do not last, but tough people do. This is how it's meant to be. So we should not run away from problems. In fact, we need to anticipate problems. Things will go wrong in life. There's nobody in this world who can say that I will not face problems or I have never had any problems. We all have to face problems in some form or manner throughout our lives. But the key is to face it with proper understanding and look at it as an opportunity as opposed to something that will bog us down for the rest of our life. Today I came across a very interesting word, German word. It is Enttäuschung, which refers to disappointment. But truly, this word means when you are removing ignorance, right? Enttäuschung. It's a two-word German word when you are removing ignorance. And I found it pretty interesting because that's essentially what we're trying to do, right? Vyas has written so many scriptures and all the Vedas are documented for us so that we can do Enttäuschung, remove ignorance, and not get disappointed in our life when we face adversities. Now let's get to the topic of our discussion, move on to our Bhagavad Gita segment. It's chapter 5, verse 6. We'll continue to build on this discussion on how do we face problems. There are some more aspects to it. Problems can come in form of criticism or in form of adversity. So we'll tackle some of those aspects as well. But let's get into our shloka discussion for today. I'm going to recite this shloka and then you're welcome to follow along. Sanyasastu mahabaho dukham aptum yogatah yoga yukto munir brahma nachirenadhigacchati. Yes, Sandhya, go ahead.
Sanyasastu mahabaho dukham aptum ayogatah yoga yukto munir brahma nachirenadhigacchati.
Very nice, thank you.
Okay, yeah, Udayji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe.
I'm unable to unmute you. Okay, Payal ji, Radhe Radhe.
राधे राधे
Radhe.
संन्यासतु महाबाहो दुःखमाप्तुं योगतः योगयुक्तो मुनिर्ब्रह्मा न चिरेणाधिगच्छति राधे राधे
Radhe Radhe. Riyaji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Riya ji.
Thank you राधे राधे संन्यासस्तु महाबाहो दुःखमाप्तुम् अयोगतः योगयुक्तो मुनिर्ब्रह्मा न चिरेणाधिगच्छति.
Nice, thank you, Riyaji.
Radhe
Radhe Radhe. So let's get started. So this shloka, Lord Krishna is saying perfect renunciation, karam sannyas, is difficult to attain without performing work in devotion, is what we had spoken about yesterday. That karam yog, regardless, you have to do. And that is a stepping stone to karam sannyas. Having said that, you may or may not have to do Karam Sannyas, okay? It's not that you have to go through Karam Yoga and then Karam Sannyas and then you complete your realization, okay? You may not be needed to do that at all. So, Almighty, but the sage who's adept in Karam Yoga quickly attains the supreme. So he's saying that one who is adept in Karam Yoga, they quickly attain the supreme, and that's where we'll continue our discussion. What is this Karam Yoga, Karam Sannyas? We have spoken about it, so let's continue with that. Now, we spoke yesterday that for us to move from, an elementary stage to a graduate stage, you cannot skip the intermediate step, right? So intermediate step is basically, if you look at it, middle school in this case, you can't go from elementary to high school, you have to go through the middle school. So those rigors are needed, and that is essentially what Lord Krishna is talking about here. He's saying to qualification for sannyas, you must perfect yourself through Karam Yoga. So if you are harboring any ambitions of taking sannyas, first of all, you cannot do that on your own volition. It is, there's a strict caveat that comes along with it. It is something that can be taken up only under the expert guidance of a guru. If you meet a guru and he says you are ready for sannyas and that is your path, then you can take a complete sannyas. Otherwise, Karam Yoga is the way to go. So, because Karam Yoga is everybody is eligible for it, and through Karam Yoga itself, you can perfect your devotion and your realization. You don't even have to take sannyas for that matter. But for some reason, if somebody's has some past sanskars or they have reached a particular tipping point where that might be the way to go, then it can only be done under the expert guidance of a guru. For 99% of the people, Karam Yoga is the way to go. You don't end up losing anything if you do Karam Yoga. In fact, you become adept. And Lord Krishna is saying in the shloka, people who are adept in Karam Yoga, they realize God pretty quickly. Okay. So that is where we cannot skip the intermediate step where whichever responsibility you are interested with in life, there is a reason why you are where you are in your current life. It could be a family life, it could be a bachelor life, it could be a life of a professional, doctor, householder, whatever it might be. There's a reason why you are stationed in a particular, but you are positioned in a particular station in life. So that has to be honored. And then the science behind work, whatever we are doing, the work that we are doing or endeavors we are doing, the thought process behind that, the intention behind that, the motivation behind that, when you purify that, that is essentially what Karam Yoga is, right? So in this particular case, Lord Krishna is saying, without Karam Yoga, you attain distress. And when you are adept in Karam Yoga, when you build that connect with the Supreme, the why behind anything, the so that behind everything, when we purify that, when we align it perfectly, then we are pretty much on the fast track towards realization at that point. Right? That inner union is something that needs to be focused upon. Every act can actually become devotional. You could be cooking food, right? If you're cooking food so that you can enjoy that recipe which you found on YouTube or that particular channel for yourself, that becomes bhog. But if you're doing it, so first you want to offer it to God and then offer it as his remnant or prasad, then it becomes devotional. If you're doing cleaning, it's like cleanliness is next to godliness. You never know when God would not like to, if he were to come to your house, he would not like to see it untidy. If you're doing it with that consciousness that I anyway have to keep it clean, like Shabari would do that for 40 years, today might be the day, then it becomes devotional. If you're earning for yourself so that you can enjoy that next Hawaii trip, that becomes bhog. But if you are earning, you want to earn more, you want to become the C-level executive, so you can earn more so that you can give more, then it becomes devotional. Like I think even the Mormon church, I think they said, right, earn all that you can so that you can give all that you can. So the idea is, what is the motive behind your activity? When you purify it, when you start aligning it to the divinity, the divine power, or start offering it to him, then it becomes devotional. And that is essentially what Karam Yoga is. So let's move on and talk a little bit what prevents us. Now let's understand a lesson in psychology which Lord Krishna has explained to us. Okay, it's a very beautiful what you call that, if you think about it, if you contemplate upon it, you'll understand that we follow this pattern throughout our life. Okay, you would know that, you'll be able to appreciate how our mind works. Lord Krishna is telling us exactly how our mind works and where the pitfalls are and where we keep repeatedly failing. Okay, now it's for us to analyze and evaluate and maybe smile at yourself, okay, I know it is happening or it happens and it has happened multiple times, but think about it. This is how this process unfolds. Okay, how does it happen? You build repetitive thoughts around something, right? So first of all, let's start from the fundamentals. We all are wired to seek happiness. Okay, there's no running away from that at all. We have spoken about this concept multiple times, and there's a reason for that. We are the fragmental parts of that perfect ocean of bliss. So we will seek happiness. We will crave for happiness. Nobody has to teach us that. Every action that we do throughout the day, it is it is directed towards attaining some kind of a happiness out of it. Okay, if you don't get happiness, you will not do that. Right now, you may be getting happiness listening to what you are listening right now. But if I continue to ramble on for next 10 hours, you will say enough of it. Okay, now I have to go and take some nap or something like that. That is also directed at happiness, right? So every action that we do, it might be contradictory, but it is directed at happiness. You are awake because you feel happy. You sleep because that gives you happiness. If somebody tells you, you continue to sleep, I will give you salary for the next 10 years, you continue to sleep. You'll say, no, thank you very much. Okay, after few days you'll say, no, take away salary, but I need to get up. Because why? Because that will give me happiness. I cannot keep on sleeping forever. Now you are seeking happiness. Then what happens is you put it on a particular object or a thing or a person. Repetitively, this thing is going to give me happiness. So that pattern will start. Now, we are not born and drinkers or smokers, right? That's how it happens in that as well, right? People think, okay, this is pretty cool. If I'm going to drink or smoke, it's going to give me happiness. Now, your thought process is established. This thing will give me happiness. This thing will give me happiness, until those repetitive thoughts will make some kind of a neural channels. This object will give me happiness, this give me, and then these noodle-like things, channels will be formed, which is called attachment. Okay, now your attachment is formed to that particular thing, object, or whatever it is, where you think I'm going to derive some kind of a happiness. How did it start? The repetitive thought that your mind is bringing to you, right? It happens in school as well, right? A person falls for a girl. Why? How does it happen? They think this thing is going to give me happiness. Things. Other people who have, who do not have that kind of a thought pattern, or they haven't thought about it that way, they find it very amusing. They said, okay, what is so special about that person? But some person has thought, no, no, no. So they have already formed those channels. So now that repetitive thoughts will lead to attachment. Then what happens? Attachment in itself is not bad, but then what happens? You start desiring it. Now you want the object of your attachment. Okay, this is how the next step will unfold. You have thought it so many times. Now you will go for the pre-booking or on that long line for the Apple or the next clothing line that is coming up, because the desire has come. I need to get that next apparel from Lululemon or whatever it is, okay, or that gadget that is coming in, Apple's newest gadget, which is pretty cool. So now the desire has formed because you have repeatedly thought about it. You want that object of your desire. Now what happens? Desire binary, right? If you go by the law of probability, for anything that you think about, there are only two possibilities. There's no third possibility. One is either it will happen or it will not happen. Very simple. It's a binary. So either it will get fulfilled, then what happens? If it gets fulfilled, then you fall into the trap of greed. Now you need more of it. Your mind will say, I need more of it. Okay, give me more of it. And that is one of the things. It is driven by, there are three gunas of Maya, right? We have tamas, rajas, and sattva. It is driven, rajas drives it, which is good also in a way, because if you think about anybody in this world, whether it is a company or an individual or an enterprise, everybody wants to become bigger and better. Does anybody stop? No, right? It propels the humanity forward, provided it is done in the right manner. So it will propel the humanity forward if you look at it that way. But invariably, what happens is we fall to the trap of greed. Now I need more of it. Okay, so you see how this pattern is unfolding. First, you have repetitive thoughts about something. This object is going to give me happiness. Then when you repeat it enough times, it could be an object of, it could be drinking, it could be smoking, it could be a gadget, car, house, whatever it might be. When you repeatedly think this thing gives me happiness, you'll form an attachment to it. When you form an attachment, it becomes a desire. Now you start obsessing about it. I need this. When the desire is formed, there are two outcomes. One is it'll get fulfilled. If it gets fulfilled, it becomes greed. The other possibility is if it doesn't get fulfilled, then what happens? You become angry. You become frustrated. You become disappointed. Okay. So this will repeat. So this cycle, if you look at it, Lord Krishna is a master psychologist as well, right? I keep on saying that. How many of us know that we keep falling to this trap time and again throughout our life? Repetition of thoughts. I need happiness. Everybody needs happiness because we are part of that ocean of happiness. This thing will give me happiness. I found my attachment. Now, because of my attachment, desire is formed. Desire has given birth to two other afflictions, greed and anger. And this cycle keeps on repeating itself. So if you look at it, desire is the mother of both greed and anger. And it passes the common DNA of moha. Moha is, anyway, we call about moha maya, right? So the moha becomes the DNA in both of these elements. So this is how the process repeats, and it keeps on happening throughout our life for different things. Okay, and we keep succumbing to the cycle of falling into the cycle of forming an attachment to something, desiring something, getting it or not getting it. If we get it, greed, bigger and better. If we don't get it, anger, frustration, disappointment. Okay, this cycle keeps on repeating. So in that sense, you see the test tube. Have you done these chemical reactions in chemistry lab? So these three test tubes do signify something, right? We are feeding it in our brain if you look at it. The first one is desire. The second one is greed. And third one is anger. Okay. So this is where the acronym we came up with GAD. Greed, anger, and desire. We need to give up these or dovetail it in order to get closer to God, right? So the purification of this happens only through Karma Yoga. Right now we are trying to put it all together. Why Karma Yoga is so important? Because when you do Karma Yoga, the spirit of Karma Yoga says that you dovetail your desire. You want to excel in your profession. You want to do well. Why do you want to do well? You want to do well, bring your abilities to the fore, to the best potential. Nobody's saying become a sannyasi. Do the best of your abilities. But the motivation behind that changes. Motivation is not a greed for yourself, but it's like they say, right? There is a saying that everybody is endowed with the music. That is God's gift to us. To realizing that music and offering it back to God is your gift back to Him. You're not no longer doing it, but for the pleasure of God. That motivation, that thought process will enable you to do even better in life. Look at some of the most wonderful architectural creations in this world. Some of the most wonderful dance forms in this world, right? Classical music and stuff like that, classical dance forms. They are all inspired by the desire to serve God, right? So that is the spirit of Karam Yoga. Karam Yoga would bring out the best in you. The infinite potential that we talk about, we are all are endowed with. Karam Yoga would enable that. But when you limit it with the tendency to enjoy it for yourself, you are capping that potential. First of all, you are stressing out, right? Because you're outcome driven in the sense that you want to enjoy it for yourself. That will stress you out if you don't get it. Secondly, it's a binding karma. Thirdly, it's going to cap your potential. You will never be able to realize your truest potential because the spirit behind that activity is to enjoy for the self. So when the desire changes, of course, now that anger can be dovetailed as well. Anger could be okay. Everything can be dovetailed on the path of devotion. You could get angry at yourself. I've been on the path of spirituality for so long and still I'm struggling with some of these basic things, right? Greed could be I want to do more seva and devotion, right? That could be dovetailed as well. So all three can be dovetailed in that sense. You can desire for the higher things, and when you start desiring for the higher things, the lowest starts falling away by itself. There's a story on Karam Yoga part of it, right? When you do it for the pleasure of God, and when you keep that at the back of your mind, your abilities go to another level altogether, right? There's a story about Akbar where I've spoken about it, but I'll reiterate. I mean, revisit that story. Tansen, they say that he used to sing Rag Malhar, that, when he will sing, the cloud seeding would happen. Something that they do with the chemical reaction of silver iodide. He would sing and the clouds will start falling, the Rag Malhar, that power he had in his singing. So Tansen, Akbar told him that, you are so talented. I would really like to meet your guru as well. So Tansen said, my guru will not come to you. So we'll have to go to him. So nevertheless, they go to his guru. So when they go to his guru, Tansen's guru, Tansen deliberately, now they cannot order him to sing, right? So he deliberately sings an incorrect rag. And then his guru picks up and starts singing. And when he starts singing, Akbar was mesmerized. And then he asked Tansen, why can't you sing like your guru? He said, I cannot. He said, why? He said, because I sing for the Badshah of India, Bharat, but he sings for the Badshah of the world. Okay, so the motivation behind his singing is different altogether. So I cannot match up to that. So that is what Karam Yoga can lead you to. We might be thinking, what is this God thing you keep bringing to the mix? When you start doing it with that spirit, you can actually take your abilities to the another level altogether. Not even forget about God, not even bringing God into the mix. When you simply start scratching the surface of Karam Yoga, like a lot of sportsmen do, like a lot of entrepreneurs do, where they focus on the process, not so much on the results. Focus driven, process driven approach, like Dhoni used to say that in cricket always, then also you'll start excelling. But when you take it to the for the pleasure of God, you can take it to another level altogether. But what I'm saying is, people who don't believe in God focus on the Karma Yoga aspect of it, on the process part of it itself. That itself will help you to take your abilities to the next level altogether. Right? So many sportsmen, they keep on. I mean, these days it has become a buzzword in all the sports. Focus on the process, not so much on the outcome. As long as we have followed the process, the outcome will take care of it all by itself, right? Some famous Olympians like Michael Phelps and all, they speak and reiterate the same thing on what is the mindset that they not acquire, but they harbor when they are practicing for those high efficiency and highly competitive sports like Olympics. Yes, Sandhya, you had a question?
Yeah, there is a question in the chat by Samiranji.
Mhm.
It is regarding the emotion of jealousy. So, yeah, he says if someone is jealous and envy about someone's practice in work, which will give us inspiration to put in same sort of effort, which guna will it fall into?
Jealousy is tamasic. If you think about jealousy, it's a negative emotion. It puts you down, right? Any emotion, the after feeling of that emotion will tell you if it is right or not. So think about it, like envy, jealousy comes from a mindset of scarcity. It's like the pizza is limited. If somebody else has it, mine has shrunk. That is where envy and jealousy would come, right? But there's a mindset of abundance needs to be there. Everybody have their own game, right? Everybody has enough on this earth. If you are skilled enough, everybody can do well. It's not like if somebody else is doing well, he's snatching something away from you. Each of us can have our own uh, play in the grand scheme of things, and that mindsets need to be consciously inculcated, right? That is our lower energy. Envy, if envies, I mean, jealousy and envy, they're synonymously used. There might be a little subtle difference. As long as you can utilize that emotion to propel yourselves to doing better, then it is fine. But if it is born out of some kind of a negative sentiment for the other person, oh my God, that person has it, I don't have it, then it's not good. Artiji, you had raised your hand. Please go ahead. You're not allowed to lower it once you raise it. So you have to ask the question now. Artiji.
जी जी
You've been unmuted, RPG.
जी हरिओम राधे राधे नितिन जी मैं थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूज हूँ इस टॉपिक को लेके आपने जैसे कहा फॉर द प्लेजर ऑफ गॉड हमें कर्म करना चाहिए लेकिन क्या उससे हमें खुशी नहीं मिलेगी और फिर
मिलेगी।
वही साइकिल नहीं होगी रिपीट खुशी मिली फिर मुझे वही करने का डिज़ायर भरेगा फिर करने को और मन करेगा ग्रीड आएगा और नहीं कर पाई तो गुस्सा आएगा
नहीं, एक्चुअली जो आपको मिलेगा वो जो आपको टेम्परेरी थ्रिल मिलती है ना, द
हाँ
टेम्परेरी थ्रिल दैट वी गेट बाय डूइंग थिंग फॉर आवरसेल्व्स it will be, that thrill will be replaced with the fulfillment, right? So that will be a little different thing. Now you want to, but then your motivation has become purified. You want to excel, but then it will not be accompanied with stress, anxiety, or fear. All that stuff will be taken away. So that's a different kind of an experience when you do it with a free spirit for the pleasure of God. Try to do some work, okay?
मैं मन से ये सोच के कर रही हूँ कि आई एम डूइंग इट फॉर द प्लेजर ऑफ गॉड, लेकिन तब भी अगर मुझे ये डिजायर में कन्वर्ट हो तो ये अभी तक मीन्स मेरा मन प्योर नहीं है।
नहीं है, when you are doing it for the pleasure of God, वो anxiety नहीं होगी. So the yardstick or the test for whether are you doing it based on your own attachment or for the pleasure of God is that it will not be accompanied with any kind of stress or negative emotion. You'll do it with a free mind at that point because the results are for his enjoyment. How would you care then? When you have put in your best, you don't care then. It's like whatever. See, I'll tell you one thing. Now, Arjun is fighting a war. He heard this message from Lord Krishna, right? That he has to fight this war. It is a Dharam Yudh. I'll give you an example of Bhagavad Gita only. Now, on one of the days of the battle, Bhishma takes a vow that I am going to, because when Duryodhan said very harsh words to him that you are not, you have some soft corner for Pandavas. So he said, tomorrow, either I am going to kill Arjun or I'll make Krishna lift his weapon, right? He took that vow that day. So Bhishma's vow, we know that once he takes a vow, he is going to stick to it no matter what, even if it happens at the expense of his life. So when they heard that he's going to kill Arjun next day, so there was a lot of tension in Pandava's camp. All the brothers, they became tense. Now think of Arjun. He should be tense as well, right? He's doing Karam Yoga for the sake of Krishna. What you are saying, Aarti ji, I'm doing it for God, then I should become tense, right? I have a desire to do, he also has a desire to do well. But what happens? Now Krishna checks out on the Pandavas and they are all stressed out, of the Yudhishthir and everybody. So he said, let me check out on Arjun as well, what's going on in his mind. If they are tensed, he must be tensed as well. He goes to Arjun's room and Arjun is happily sleeping like a baby. Okay, he wakes him up. He said, what's going on, Arjun? Have you not heard about Bhishma's thing? And he said, that's your problem, not my problem. Okay, why should I worry about it when you are with me? So the point is, when he's doing it in the spirit of it, it's like, whatever, I'm going to do my best. I'm not going to worry about it. The fact we get worried is because we have our own attachment and a selfish motive behind it. That makes us worry and become anxious. If you don't have a selfish motive, you'll not have any worry or anxiety about it. In fact, it will be accompanied by peace, joy, and a serenity within. This is the sure shot sign of whether you are doing it for your own sake or for the sake of God. As you keep on increasing that proportion, your peace quotient or the joy and the serenity will keep on increasing. But if you have not, then it will be accompanied with anxiety. It will come in the disguise of I'm doing it for God, but there is still an iota of selfishness somewhere there. Then only you'll have stress. Otherwise, you should not. Think deeply about it. I hope it sheds a bit of light on that. Aarti ji, we are unmuting you.
जी जी।
Okay. तो selfishness होगी कहीं ना कहीं तभी आपको anxiety होगी. If you don't have selfishness, it's like a free bird, whatever. Right?
ये
You are just
ऐसा
going
था
to
कि
do whatever.
अगर मुझे वो करने पे, जैसे अभी ये सत्संग सुनने में मुझे बड़ी खुशी मिलती है, और जिस दिन नहीं सुनती हूँ तो थोड़ा गुस्सा, थोड़ा इरिटेशन आता है, तो ये भी एक सेल्फ मीन्स डिजायर पे आ गया ना, मतलब ये भी मैं मेरे लिए कर रही हूँ ना, भगवान
हाँ,
के लिए
तो
नहीं ना।
उसमें हाँ, it's a very valid point what you asked, but I think itna we can cut slack for ourselves because nishkamta completely will come at a pretty later stage, right? It's a good desire to do satsang, desire to do more seva, desire to do more sadhana. It's a good desire. You have already started dovetailing your desires towards a higher purpose, which is fine. गुस्सा नहीं आना चाहिए, but yeah, it builds a bit of a restlessness because you want to do that. So I think that is something which is still okay, right? Because you're doing it for a higher purpose, right? So now you are truly becoming selfish. We see we all are selfish. The problem is our selfishness is limited to our bodily and sensory things alone. If we truly are selfish, knowing that we are a spirit soul, then that selfishness will also serve us, right? Maharaj ji had said that joi swarath pehchan dhanya soi. Person who truly becomes selfish in true sense, understanding they are a soul, is already on the path of spirituality. The problem is we are thinking ourselves as a body-mind complex and started looking out to serve our selfishness through materialistic thing. That is where the problem is. But this is a good selfishness, RPG, I must say that. So keep it up. Yes, Sandhya.
Um, so follow-up question on the jealousy thing. So one question from Abhaji is, if they harbor their negative jealousy of you and tell you or display it, how do you manage it so that your peace is not disrupted?
See, this is again those things, right? Would you like to give your keys to happiness to people around? You are letting it affect you. That is why it is happening. They are not doing it. You are letting it. It's like somebody rings your bell at the door, ting ting, and you open it and say, yes, what's the matter? They say, you know what, we have got a truck full of garbage. You want to put it in your place. Would you let them do that? But when it comes to others, we are going to talk about it. Facing problems, soul soup segment, criticism. How do we take that part? We are going to talk about that as well. It's not them, it's about us. We are letting it happen. That is why it is happening. If we are at peace, we don't let it happen. So there's a story of Buddha that there was a guy who came to Buddha and he started abusing him left, right, and center. And when he was done, Buddha said, can you give him some food and water? Because he's run out of energy. So give him some more, okay, so that he can start again. So they gave him food, water, and said, okay, go start again. So this guy, after a while, he got tired and he said, are you made up of stone or wood? What kind of a person are you? So Buddha said, when somebody gives you a present and you don't accept it, with whom does it remain? So the point is, when somebody says that, only when we accept it will it affect us. We have a choice. If we don't accept it, doesn't happen. So that choice has to be exercised because there'll be people who will continue to do that. So we preempt it, and then we need to work on it to insulate ourselves from that. Because if you're going to get affected with anybody, people's words, then it's not a good game plan. It can disrupt our peace very easily. So we need to be a little proactive around it. That's the only way. Yes, Sandhya?
I had, yeah, one more follow-up question along the same lines. So if we want to put this jealousy in the same flow chart, it will also be like when our desires don't get fulfilled. Um,
Yeah, when our desire don't get fulfilled, then it could be accompanied with disappointment, jealousy, could be there,
all the
right?
negative emotions, yeah, in that
Negative
sense.
emotions. In fact, spirituality is all about the battle between our lower energies and higher energies, right? So lower self will pull us down like gravity, and the upper self has to take control, say, no, I'm not going to succumb to it. Right? So it's easy to fall to those emotions because of our conditioning and that scarcity mindset that if I don't have it, somebody else has it, then I have left out or I've lost out on something in life, that kind of a mindset. We forget that everybody is perfectly situated where they need to be. We are entitled to our efforts, but not to the results, right? Again, but going back to the Karam Yoga concept, you do your best in any situation, and everybody has their own destiny, right? You can put in your hard work, but that doesn't guarantee you success always, right? As long as you have that understanding, you're already on the way. Yeah, yesterday we spoke about Steve Jobs. Look at his mindset. He was put up for adoption twice. He could not pay for his college fee. He was thrown out of his company. He could have taken one of those adversities and say, I was given a raw deal in life and I was given lemon by God, and that is why my life became a failure. He didn't do it that way. He utilized every one of those opportunities as a stepping stone for something bigger and better in life. Okay, any more questions on this? Because we have a presentation on coming up. Not presentation, I keep on saying that. Okay, it's a very informal chat. Monica ji wanted to talk a little bit about her spiritual journey, not to talk about her realizations or anything, but how she got onto this path. But I'll not steal her thunder and let her talk a little bit about it. It may inspire some of you who may think, okay, what does it mean? How does it come? And maybe in one of the days I can speak about my journey as well, how this whole thing started unfolding for me, and one thing led to another, and it just, oh, the floodgates kept opening, within a very short time. But without much ado, I would like to invite Monica Chi to come and talk about, what you want to share with us. We are all ears and eyes. Please go ahead. Let's put spotlight on her. Okay, let's put her on a spot.
Okay. Thank you, Nitinji. Radhe Radhe, everybody. I won't take much time, but then I'm also making a note of people who are leaving the chat. I mean, leaving the session now. So to talk to them and tell them my experience personally. No, just kidding. Okay.
Go ahead.
So, I mean, honestly, Nitinji, I did not prepare for it because when I prepare, I fumble a lot. I'll just talk,
No,
whatever comes to my
I
mind.
think you do really well when you don't prepare. Okay, so that was the whole idea. Please go.
Okay. All right. So like everybody else, we have our
Okay,
time,
so before you start, okay, I want to tell that I may have my own anecdotes to add, okay, to what you say later on.
Absolutely.
So please go ahead now. All yours.
Yes, that might remind me if I'm, missing something, so I can talk about that also. So yeah, so I mean, and we all know that how we have our memories when we were teenagers, and how spiritual we were at that time. Lucky enough to be born in a family who was always spiritually connected to actually Mahadev a lot. We are very prominent Mahadev bhakts, and still in my family, I'm the only one who came to Krishna's path, and I'll tell you how. I got married. So I'm from Haryana, back in Bharat in India, but got married to a Marwari where they had Laddu Gopal in their house, and they still do a lot of seva of Laddu Gopalji. But at that time, since I was like a Mahadev bhakt, I could not really connect to Laddu Gopalji, and then when my mother-in-law, she did a lot of rituals, I was like, "Are kya kar rahe hain? Now I have to do this. Subah ke pani garam karo, and unko nehlao and all that." I could never connect, and now I understand why that happened, so that this could happen now. What happened after that was I was fortunate enough to get a job in India where I was managing operations of a private jet airline. And they had like a fleet of Falcon jets. So I think almost only 5 to 6 positions was there in all over India. So I had all the stories and all the experiences to share with people. I was on cloud nine always, thinking too big of myself, and quite humble now to actually accept that. But we moved to US. After coming here, suddenly H1B visa kicked in, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to start looking for a job into IT. Doesn't it doesn't come naturally to me at all, because I was from aviation. I had my own struggles, and we moved to New Jersey. Along with weather, I had my own struggles, and I conceived my child here, Arjun. So everything sort of came together, and the struggle. And when you have these kind of struggles is when you actually try and move towards God, right? So I started searching a lot of questions, unsolved questions, and I was like, I could never get answers from anybody, because you're not connected to people like Nitin Ji, like how here. But in that time, you try and find answers between your friends, potluck dinners and all that. And they could just answer what they feel and have the kind of understanding, right? So one day Sadhguru's video just surfaced. And then I started, listening to him. Made a lot of sense. And then I kept listening to him for 5 years, 5 good years. Many a times that really solved a lot of questions. And then why we are here, and all the, basically satisfying your logical questions, which now I think that, when people say that it doesn't have any logic, or, it's logically not correct or whatever, it's basically we are stupid enough to not accept that we do not know a lot of stuff. That I accept now. But at that time, when I was listening to Sadhguru, I was like, I have answers to all the questions. And I was like one of those intellectual Sanatanis who would create questions in a group and then answer myself, answer those questions myself, just to gain attention and everything. But then there I had almost like 30 families, and my own sister who's just visited here, Pooja, and along with Arya. So I had my own sister, but then I was some vacuum was there. Something was not adding up. So I was telling my husband that weather is bad, too much struggle here. We don't have maids and everything. So let's just move back to Bharat, or take me to a warmer place. He used to visit Dallas a lot, but we did not know anybody at all here. For me, moving to Dallas, it was like, starting afresh. But then we still took that call. We took that decision. August 2019, just before Janmashtami, we moved to Dallas. And then now I know that, not now, at that time also I used to believe, but now I'm sort of experiencing it, that it's the place that calls you, right? It's a place that calls you. So we moved, and we sort of crossed Radha Krishna temple at that time. We did not even know that Radha Krishna temple was there because we bought the house looking around the place where we had tennis courts because my son is into tennis and my husband also. So when I crossed that temple, I was like, obviously alone here, wanted to visit some temples. So visited Karya Siddhi temple. When I came to Radha Krishna temple, something, I don't know, it was something that the vibe was completely different. And when I came down to look at, the vendors and all that, Swamiji just crossed. And then I'm like, oh, I've seen him somewhere, maybe YouTube. And then I'm like, one of the devotees was standing next to Swamiji. And just to get a picture to make my New Jersey friends jealous, I was like, let me just get a picture with Swamiji. So I told one of the devotees who was standing next to, and I think that was Shreya ji only. I told her, can I take a picture? Can I get a picture with Swamiji? They're like, do you come to the temple? I'm like, not very frequent. Then he's like, okay, start coming to the temple frequently and you'll get the picture. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do that maybe. And then forgot about it, right? Then next time when I started visiting the temple, because I did not have potluck dinners and all, then I sort of offered my services to one of the ladies there who was sitting at the reception that, I don't know, somehow I just told her that I can make people dance. Then he's like, she told me, she asked me rather that, are you classically trained? I said, I'm planning to start some classes, but not yet. Oh, we need classical dancers. I'm like, okay. Series of no's from everybody, right? Then COVID happened. I got laid off from my job. Me and Cash used to work together, by the way, in Southwest Airlines. I got laid off from the Southwest Airlines because I used to work with a vendor. Luckily, in those 2 months, I joined some WhatsApp group where, it was a group of like activists and doing some things for Bharat and everything. My passion just sort of took over. And then I forgot about trying for another job. And I was like, maybe someday, but then I was concentrating there. That period was actually, for me, it was to get connect somewhere. I started coming to the temple more often. And then one day I saw them cutting cake in the temple for one of, I think, for then I went to the reception and said, being an intellectual Sanatini, I went to the, Kriti ji, she was there at the reception. I'm like, hum cake kyun kat rahe hain? We have, so many vyanjans. We have like Mohan Thal and we have, so many, laddus and all. Why are we cutting cakes? Then I thought that probably they are taking shortcuts or, they're not taking it seriously. That is like Krishna. Because for me, I'm a very still proud Sanatani, but with a very limited perspective. Next day when I came there, Swamiji was there. No, before that, my sister came here. And then my sisters like Pooja, Seema, Laddu Guddu, and Kavita Chikki, they are like ardent followers. I tell them something, they're like, if they're moving this side, they'll be like, okay, we said this, let's just go this side, right? So Laddu was here and then she was asking me, Dee, you know so much. How do you know so much? I said, start listening to Sadhguru. Then she's like, Dee, you know what? He speaks very slow. I said, increase the speed. Then she's like, you know what? There's another guru. If you listen to him, I'm telling you, Dee, you'll switch your spiritual guru. I said, that cannot happen. Then she's like, ek baar suno to sahi. And she showed me video of Swamiji. I said, hello, I meet him. I see him in the temple. She's like, are you serious? Which temple? I said, Radha Krishna temple. The one closest to our house? Yes, I said 7 minutes. And that was, again, the next very year of Janmashtami when Swamiji was there in the temple. Then she's telling me, Dee, why did you tell me before? I said, how do I know that you follow Swami Mukundananda? Then she's like, no, we have to go now. We literally changed and went to the temple. And then I told her that I'm not sure if Swamiji will be there. She's like, something in me tells me that he will be there. Let's just go. I said, okay. We went there. Swamiji was there. During Janmashtami, when, it's so crowded, for some reason, the prayer hall was not crowded. Swamiji was there. It was sort of like, we'll just go there and talk to him. The moment my sister saw her guru, she started crying and crying as if, there's no tomorrow. And I'm like, embarrass mat kar. I come here regularly. And she's like, you don't know, aapne mujhe kya de diya? I'm like, okay, go and talk to Swamiji. She went there, she couldn't utter a word. She continued crying. Swamiji, obviously being Swamiji, he understood. And then he ended up giving his personal email to her that whatever you want to ask me, you can ask me in my personal email. Apart from that, they did not speak anything. I was again talking to Kritiji about cake stuff or whatever, right? Then Swamiji came outside and then he's like, Monica, Seema, you have a lot of questions, right? Come. And I was telling Laddu, why did you tell him, my name? Then he's like, I did not. I said, for sure, I also did not. Then she's like, see, I forget about Didi. Swamiji is calling us, let's just go. I did not have questions at that time. I'm like, okay, probably I'll just, sit with him and then, take some blessings. So we sat in the Seva Kund and Swamiji said, ask. I'm like, Swamiji, I don't know, it's your aura or something. I don't have questions. Meantime, Kriti ji comes in and said, Swamiji, inko na cake katne se problem hai. I said, Swamiji, no, Swamiji, I mean, I don't have any problem with, cutting cake or whatever, but I was just thinking that he loves Mohan Thal and other sweets. Why aren't we doing that? Swamiji said, because Krishna was not Indian. I'm like, oh, that does not fit in my logical head. I'm like, not Indian? Why would he say that? I said, sorry, Swamiji, I mean, I did not understand. Swamiji said, because he's a Brahmand Nayak. Why are you limiting him to India? I mean, he chose to take birth there because at that time, no other country was there, right? So that is why he's a Brahmanpati. How can you limit? For some reason, that thing, and a couple of other questions, because I don't want to take up a lot of time. I had a web of, what was that puzzle called, Nitinji? That cube, the cube, that puzzle. I mean,
Rubik's Cube.
Rubric cube, yes, rubric cube. My mind was like that. In fact, to an extent that no similar color was there together. That started, I'm spinning in my head, right? And then after that series of incidents where for some reason I just started crying in front of him. I told him, Swamiji, I don't know why I'm crying, but he's like, your sisters cry a lot. I'm like, I don't know why I'm crying, but I just can't control myself. So he sort of just patted my back and he's like, it's okay. And after that, any opportunity, any festival support, sure, but I did not leave any opportunity of coming and talking to Swamiji. And after that, when Balmukund, I enrolled my son in Balmukund when Nitinji was giving presentation about what Balmukund is all about. I was sitting in the front row and looking at Nitinji, the way he was talking, I'm like, oh, intelligent. Huh? There are a lot of intelligent people in this temple. Let me just offer my services there. So I spoke to Nitinji, told him, Nitinji, well, I also want to volunteer. Then he's like, what do you do? I said, I'm like every third India, I'm into IT. Then he's like, okay, I think you'll be a very good storyteller. So probably he just took my number. And then I told Nitinji that I wanted to offer my dance services also, my yoga services also, but no one's taking. Then he's like, maybe you were meant for this one. So let's just go ahead with that. Next day, I get a call from Nitinji that I'm heading a 24 hours class. So I'm like, oh, now I'm going to turn all these, students into intellectual Sanatanis because they have that much knowledge and all stuff. Nitinji tells me, by the way, why don't you come to Bhagavad Gita classes? I said, Nitinji, I will for sure. I set an alarm at 8:45 and tell him that, today onwards I'll join. Weeks passed by. I did not join. Then again, I saw Nitinji, and Nitinji's like, Monica ji, if I tell you there's, $1 million kept there, come what may, you will reach and, get it. So don't tell me that, 8:45, you have to put your son to bed. I'm like, oh, that was like really embarrassing. I was like, today, aaj to join karna hi padega, itna embarrassed kar diya hai. That was the day. That was the day when everything changed because I had answers to all my questions. And trust me, I'm so tempted to share my experience that I actually had a conversation just before, this Bhagavad Gita session that I really want to share my experiences with everybody, which kind of reinforce that faith in me every single time. Any challenges, any situation with any person, also being your loved ones, your relatives or whoever. Now I understand why it is happening. That rubric cube. Now it's like I choose the color, which color I want to show to people. It has become that because now I really live by the saying that मैं नहीं, what was that? हम हमारी चिंता क्यों करें जब उसे चिंता हमारी है, हमारे प्राणों का रक्षक सुदर्शन चक्रधारी है. Just live by that. So thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Monica ji. That was so sweet of you, straight from the heart. And I think you went down the memory lane on how exactly it happened for you. I know it was a filtered version, but I've seen the trajectory around it. Again, she's pretty amazing. Okay, I tell you, she's nothing short of a dynamite. The way she goes about seva, all the Sanatani jazba that she had acquired, being coming in from an activist background and the stuff that she has, you can see that, all that is now put towards the path of Krishna and devotion, and the enthusiasm, the inspiration you bring to the table is very, very infectious, I must say that. And not only you, I think your enthusiasm is more infectious than the Delta variant of COVID I'm selling. A lot of my friends, your sisters, they have also come and joined this bandwagon. But she's pretty amazing. The amount of energy she has, the jazba, I keep on saying, very sharp, and like that enthusiasm. Swamiji talks about, she has loads and loads of it. And whatever she puts her mind to, she can haunt you like a ghost for the rest of your life once she's convinced this is good for you. I'm telling you. Okay. She woke me up for, I don't know for how long, that 5 a.m. club. Finally, I said, okay, I have to take care of my heart. Okay. So let me do it at my own pace. But she will be after you and very disciplined. And I have seen her trajectory. It's like after she has built a connect, she has taken her seva to another level. She has gotten her friends as well. And she had a lot of questions, but things have settled down now. Yes, go ahead, Monica. I'll let you complete that. And then I see a couple of hands who want to share something as well. Yes, go ahead.
Sure. So thank you, Nitinji. I mean, like I said, I have so many experiences because the moment you build that personal relationship with Krishna, forget you leaving. He is not going to leave you. And Maharaji says that when you have personal connection with Krishna and the kind of experiences you have, keep it like you have the, Kohinoor diamond. When you have Kohinoor diamond, you're not going to announce it to people that you have the diamond, right? You will just keep it to yourself. So which is why, but I'm so tempted. I wanted to share, but I can share some things, something which is sort of public.
Okay.
In Krishna Leela, like how I met Cash, like enthusiasm and passion, right? Oh, let's do Krishna Leela with, these many sequences, these many dance numbers and all that. And suddenly I realized that I'm the only one coordinating for everything. Suddenly people started coming in. I was there in Seva Kunj, thinking about, Bhagavad Gita sequence. Who can help me, choreograph that one? I see Cash and our friend just walking in. And trust me, it was like movie kinds, where a lot of wind and everything, right? she just comes in with Antara, one of her friends. And then she's like, Moni, tu yahan kya kar rahi hai? Is it your usual self or tu aise hi aati hai? I'm like, main to aise aati hu. What are you doing here? She's like, I'm performing on Janmashtami. I'm like, awesome, yaar. It's because after COVID, we were meeting like for the first time. And then I saw, then she told me that, can we dance? And I said, Arey, main to volunteer hu. Tu dance kare aapke stage pe. I'll just record your video. So I recorded a video. And then she's like, or kya chal raha hai? I said, yaar, I needed help. Bolna to kahan help chahiye? I said, yaar, I need somebody to choreograph Bhagavad Gita. हाँ तो बोलना कब करना है? So I'm like, कब करना है? आज करना है, कल करना है, next weekend से ready है? हाँ करती हूँ ना. I'm like, अरे awesome, because she choreographed few dances in not few dances, many dances, but with me in Southwest also in Diwali celebrations. So she took care of that, and after that, I'm sure she will have her own journey to say that. I'm not gonna reveal that, but that happened. And then we had a Draupadi sequence, but we were not getting the the longest sari, right? Because it had to cross the whole stage. Trust me, a lot of times I was not just prepared. We were just thinking that it's anyways a Leela. We will just pretend that I'm rotating and then we'll get that sari. Devi ji just comes, Monica ji, will this do? I said, I never asked sari from you. Then it's like, I thought you might just need it because you're doing the Draupadi sequence, right? That sari was the longest one. That just covered the whole stage. I'm like, what's happening? And then few people just joined joined us just to do maybe choreograph some dances and then never seen again. And then these were like just few experiences, right? And then we had our first presentation of Seva teams where we were the last ones to present, running short of all the ideas. But then it came out so well. One of the participants himself accepted that when you do things for God and Guru, it just happens. You just have to put in your effort. That's it. It's just taken care. We danced so much that I sort of thought that probably we can start a channel on YouTube. Just started Eri Sakhi, started uploading videos. One of the dances that Cash choreographed, Ram Aayenge on Ram Mandir inauguration, that day we danced, has got like 21,000 views already, all organic. You upload something on YouTube, you will not get views. But here we were not even following. I just wanted some kind of repository where we can revisit dances and look at our choreography. These are like very, very small things that has happened. I wish I could share everything, but then I will if you come to family camp and we will have that kind of bond.
So that
Because I
gives an
always
incentive to all of you to come to family camp to listen to some of the unfiltered version. I think that's the biggest, what do you call that, most difficult thing for Monica ji to keep things to herself, okay? Because
no, Nitinji, don't say that because then Cash will not tell me things.
okay, no,
But then my actual journey started from family camp because I got connected to Swamiji. Everything happened. Now Swamiji knew me by my name because that flash mob seva came to me. The seva that I wanted to offer at that time did not come to me because I did not have bhav. Now I get that. But after I had the bhav, it just came to me that Monica, do you want to do flash mobs and all that? We just started dancing around. And then one of the family camps, Swamiji was singing a song, a bhajan. And then I got so involved that I started crying. And then he noticed, he obviously notices it. He's Swamiji, he just notices everybody, right? So he noticed. And then the moment everybody was leaving, I came, to seeking his blessing, and he's like, Monica, your devotion is increasing. I just, Swamiji, yes, I don't know what's happening, but it is increasing. Swamiji's like, do you want to talk? I said, for sure, Swamiji. Swamiji said, okay, come. And then, when we went to the cabin, which is like right behind the reception, then he's like, okay, tell me, you did not have any questions, right? You just wanted to meet me. I said, Arre Baapre, he knows everything. Yes, Swamiji, I don't have any question. That personal moment with Swamiji itself solved all the puzzles. I mean, I felt that, okay, my happy space has come. Now I'm here, and every single day there's something or the other that keeps happening, that keeps reminding you that your guru is there with you and will not leave you until you reach there. So that trust comes obviously with time, but with your bhav also, with your efforts. So sorry, I can continue saying, but then I just wanted to share this.
awesome, Monica.
Radhe Radhe.
I think we have people who are going to ask you questions or tell something, add on to what you have said. So let's give them an opportunity now. I promised you we'll facilitate some question and answers for you as well. So let's give opportunity to others to talk about you as well. So let's start with, I see your friend Komal, Cash, and Sandhya. Go ahead, Sandhya, and then
Okay, I'll start. Monica, there's so much to say. You shared so many anecdotes. Like in the beginning itself, I was like, oh, I remember this. And I remember that very moment, that very scene when actually you and Laddu were meeting Swamiji and Laddu was crying like anything, right? And that was so palpable. And I did not know this, that she had like she already was following Swamiji. And then I remember this Bhagavad Gita class thing that she was complaining, why did not you tell me?
Yes.
she would make her sister wash utensils and attend the session herself. That was her complaint, okay? But we got her.
Yes.
And then this that word, right? Bhajan, that Urdu word in the bhajan, that
Toba, toba.
that you were pretty much complaining about. And then we Nitinji will always do this for any Urdu word that will come in bhajan. That so there have been so many amazing moments. And one point that I would like to point out is your attitude of excellence. That is something I've observed in any seva that you have done. That is really, really inspirational. And I think I have always wanting to adopt that
Oh my God.
observing.
It's all Swamiji. I'm telling you, it's all Swamiji. I'm nobody who could have this. Trust me, it is just coming from him. That I just know it, and you'll also know it for sure.
So yes, energy and motivation definitely coming from him. But the free will aspect that you are adding to it is actually making a difference that I can always see. So thank you for inspiring all of us.
Awesome.
And one more thing about this family, like their enthusiasm together as a family is again very, very infectious, as Nitinji said. And I have felt it, like Chikki, Laddu, you and Guddu GVS. I mean, I haven't talked a lot with her, but I've heard her in the session, right? So amazing. And then Cash Ji, Komal Ji. Wow. So thank you for everything.
Thanks
Awesome.
to you. Thanks
Well
to you.
summarized, Sandhya. Cash, go ahead.
Moni, it is my turn to gush over you. So I have two adjectives for you, starting with I, okay? You are inviting, first of all, because you've always had an effervescent and attractive personality, which we all saw in the last few minutes. And now you're leveraging that to draw souls like me to the devotional path. And you're so generous-hearted in sharing your experiences, and you really wear your bhakti on your sleeve. And you're inviting in a different sense too, in the sense that anyone and everyone you invite to come to these classes and anything you find on the spiritual path. Next, you're very infectious. Nitin, you already said that, but your enthusiasm and your fervor for bhakti, it's very contagious. And you drum up so much excitement about cultural stuff or fundraising or your social media. We can't help but get enthralled. And because you started off as a Shiv Bhakt, I'm going to give you a bonus third eye. Okay. You are very impactful. So when you send inspirational spiritual stuff, or when you're talking, your sense of urgency is so it's so palpable. You want to waste no time in bhakti, and you want to get to Golok tomorrow. So you really inspire me in that sense. So you mentioned you were on cloud nine when you were in aviation, but I think you had a super promotion now because you're going way higher than cloud nine, straight to Golok, right? So Moni, it's an utter privilege and blessing to be able to call you my spiritual Sakhi.
Thank you, Cash. Behan, we'll talk offline also.
That was a lot of compliments for you, Monica ji, and couldn't have agreed more. Given the influence you have, because of your unwavering enthusiasm around what you do, right? That is pretty evident. Awesome. Yes, Komal, please go ahead. And Shyamji has to speak today. Okay, where is Shyamji? You have to turn on your video, Shyamji. Yes, Komal, go ahead, please.
Radhe Radhe Komal ji.
Sakhi, I love you so much. I mean, I can't, I don't have any sister, but I can totally relate that she is my soul sister, like for me, like she has changed a lot of things. I think my spiritual journey started because of her. So yes, Sakhi, but you will not go Golok alone. You know what I'm going to do. I keep telling her, I'm going to hold your legs, so I'll make sure you're not going all by yourself to Golok. But yeah, I mean, I know that we talk offline a lot, but I love you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
मीनू जी आप काफी खुश होंगे आज देख रहे हैं आप एंथुजियाज्म गोलोक जाने का। मोनिका जी पूरी टीम और एक आर्मी लेके आती हैं अपने साथ। श्याम जी, no discussion is complete until you speak. Okay, so please go ahead, all yours.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe Shyam ji.
तुम्हें राधे राधे, थैंक यू सो मच। उन्होंने इतना बोल दिया, आज लगता है मुझे भी वहां पर आके इनको पकड़ना पड़ेगा। ऐसी ऐसी बातें कर रही हैं आर्किटी के बारे में और स्वामी जी के बारे में। मैं तो लगता है कि बहुत पीछे रह गया हूँ। और ये तो घूम भी है डैलस में जाके, आर्किटी देख दिया है। मैं तो अभी तक दिल्ली में, गुड़गांव में घूम रहा हूँ। खैर, that's the perfect way to start a journey, I'm sure. Same way I also started, my journey also. I was there everywhere. I was with BK for almost 2 years. As they say that the mango seed, mango always. But you said कि एक बार जन्म मिलेगा तो अगली बारी मिले गारंटी नहीं है. But BK says once a human, always human. That's where my first myth went away. And now I know कि this is my last birth, as we all are going to Golok. और उसका जो ना वो रथ तो मेरे हाथ में ही है. तो आई एम द सारथी ऑफ दैट रथ. जिसको जाना है गोलोक, वो मुझसे पहले बात करेगा, तभी जाएगा गोलोक. ऐसे कोई जाएगा नहीं गोलोक. That's for sure. It's really good to share about your story, and I'm sure we all are really, inspired by your story, and we all will be following her soon. Right? And one day I will be there in Dallas, and family camp we'll have all there, and we'll have Kahoot in person live there. Radhe Radhe.
In
We look forward to
multi-select
that,
questions.
Shyam. We really look forward to that. Chikki
Rahul.
called as well in one of the days. Chikki, you prepare yourself as well. Okay. So anyways, I see a couple of other hands, and Rahul is going to say Radhe Govind Govind Radhe something. Go ahead. All yours, Rahul.
Radhe Radhe Rahul ji.
राधे 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 गोविंद राधे। मोनिका जी का कृष्णमयी इंथुजियास्टिक इंजेक्शन सभी को लगवा दे।
Wow. That's a good one, Rahul. Rahul ke one-liners are amazing, right? Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe. Awesome. Yes, Sandhya, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just forgot to mention this one thing that initially when I talked with Monica Di, she had ideas and suggestions for almost anything and everything that happens in the temple. Like for the kitchen, for how the reception dances, how, I mean, and she had improvement. She was like, oh, I have already thought about it and I've suggested. Just that nobody's listening to me right now. But eventually now she has come to this point that actually a lot of things are her ideas are, I mean, around the app also I remember, right? And now we have the Radha Krishna Bhakti app, which is just like how you imagined and you were thinking about it, right? So uh, amazing. Like she has ideas about everything which are very thoughtful and useful.
So the clarity, thank you so much for beautiful words, Sandhya, and everybody who spoke. But then we all know it already. Whatever skills we have, be it our looks, hair, the way we talk, the kind of life we are leading, is everything coming from Krishna. And when we start dovetailing everything to him, the life just becomes easier, right? It just starts coming multifold to you. So all the ideas, I think that was just dropped in my head, and then I'm just uttering it in front of people. And he makes that personal connect. Oh my God, Ritij, it's so difficult to just hold back, right? but I just want to thank, not just want to thank every single day, Nitin ji. I was telling you, right? We are like sisters, and I'm sure like Komal, Cash, and everybody on this channel are like Bhundus. You know the story of Bhundu? Can I just tell everybody the story of Bhundu in 2 minutes?
Sure, sure. You have.
So there was one devotee, not educated but illiterate, but had a lot of bhav. His guru, he was called Bhondu. Bhondu is a Hindi word, and in English it's basically loosely translates to dumb. But with a lot of love, you just call Bhondu, tu Bhondu hai types. So he was called Bhondu because he was not, he was very pure at heart and, very emotionally charged up always. So his guru dovetailed his passion towards Krishna Bhakti. And he was so passionate and so emotional for Krishna that every single time he would just either do Naam Jap or do whatever he does for Krishna. Krishna, being Krishna, loved him so much that he wanted, to take Bhondu to Golok. So he manifested himself and said, Bhondu, I like your Antakaran so much that I've come, manifested myself in such a short span of time, and I want to take you along with me. Bhondu says, I cannot believe my luck. And, he started crying and everything. He's like, okay, just give me 2 minutes and I'll just get and go and get my guru. Then Krishna said, but your guru have some time. I came for you. There's like, no, I got to know about Krishna because of you. So you have to take my guru. Then Krishna says, so if I don't take your guru, you're not going to come with me? Bhondu says, no, I will not come with you if you're not taking my guru. So Krishna had to take Guru and Bhondu both together. So I'm that Bhondu, Krishna ji. Sorry, Krishna ji, Nitin ji. Without you, I don't think any of us are going to go look if we get that opportunity. Trust me. My life has changed. I really had that messy rubric cube, which is now so sorted in my head. Now, and because the kind of bliss it gives, irrespective of what comes from the opposite side, I just go, and my sakhis, they know that I just, irrespective, I just go and talk to people and then try and give them this, have them try to get the same kind of bliss that we all are in. So thank you very much.
Now I have hope, okay, that much I can tell you, okay, because once you put your mind to something, I think it's just a matter of time. So no ability on, but now I hope now that you have said that, okay, please don't forget that, okay. We'll give you a list also who all need to be included, okay. But yeah, that's so sweet of you. But yeah, I think it was very nice of you sharing it with you. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would have gotten inspired, not only to hear it directly from you, but also the fact that they can get more unfiltered versions if they come to the family camp here in Dallas. So, okay, we're going to be part of the same team and we're going to win the JKO Idol once again. Okay, you're the defending
Oh,
champ.
yes.
Forget that. Great. Awesome. Thank you. So feedback tracker has been posted. Please do fill in your feedback tracker. I know maybe we can take three hands today for our devotional segment, not more because we are already over because of Monica G's outstanding, sharing of her experience and her journey. And I know how difficult it would have been for you to control yourself back, but let it be. People will have an incentive to meet you in person at family camp, right? You can have some unfiltered version around that as well on some of your experiences. Okay, do we move on to our devotional segment then?
Yes, and just before that,
Yes,
there
the
are
feedback
many.
tracker as well. Okay, for
That has been put multiple times.
yeah.
There are many comments for you, Monica. Please check them out before the class closes out today. Many Sakhis who have identified themselves and thanked you. So please check it out and lot more. So yeah, without further ado, I'll move to
Monica ji, I love your energy. Madhuchanda ji is saying, Arun ji is saying, tell me more in Dallas. We have to catch up on Kahoot questions as well. Okay.
Arunji also says that next time Kahoot questions will also be on Monica ji's live.
Oh no, please. Don't give me so much importance. I literally shared my experience because I know that I got inspired listening to others' spiritual journey. So that was just an attempt. Honestly, very shortcut attempt. But I really hope that we all make it.
And Cash is saying you are the CFO, Chief Feedback Officer.
Feedback. No one
Alisha,
takes it. That's a different case.
yeah, you are her first Sakhi in form of Monica ji. Okay. A lot of confusion we have cleared for her. So you've got a lot of friends and Sakhis here. So very nice. I second, third that. Shilpa ji is saying that was so nice to hear about you and your sisters, Bhondu and everything. So I think that's pretty amazing. I think it should inspire more people to come forward and share their journey as well. So, in fact, let me know if you want to in the feedback tracker, and we can certainly carve out time for that. It is very good to inspire people on how things have, unfolded for you, especially after getting on this part. Awesome. So now let's move on to our devotional segment. Let's take maybe 3 hands, not many today, and wrap it up with a few chants. Go ahead, Sandhya, with the first one. And thank you again, Monica ji. Outstanding.
सुमिरन कर ले मना छिन छिन राधा रमणा सुमिरन कर ले मना छिन छिन राधा रमणा तन को भी होगा तजना संग जाय हरि भजना शिशु बनी रो रो के मना प्रेम मांगना है साधना सुमिरन 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 कर ले मना छिन छिन राधा रमणा.
Very nice. Thank you, Sandhya. Let's take Minuji and then maybe one more hand.
Radhe
Radhe Radhe. I want to thank Monica for her inspiring, very, very inspiring journey and felt very happy and thank you for sharing and all the best. Okay. Sumiran kar le mana chin chin Radha Ramana तन को भी होगा तजना संग जाए हरि भजना शिशु बनी रो रो के मना प्रेम मांगना है साधना सुमिरन कर ले मना Chin Chin Radha Ramana. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you, Minuji. Shyamji, go ahead. Faces will get preferences. Yes, go ahead, Shyamji.
Thank you so much. Radhe Radhe. Sumiran kar le mana chin chin Radha Ramana Sumiran kar le mana chin chin Radha Ramana तन को भी होगा तजना संग जाए हरि भजना शिशु बनी रो रो के मना, प्रेम मांगना है साधना। सुमिरन 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 कर ले मना, छिन छिन राधा रमना। राधे 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 राधे, राधे 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 राधे, राधे राधे।
Very nice, Shyamji. Radhe Radhe. Okay, let's take Swati ji and then cover the both remaining hands as well, real quick.
Radhe Radhe Swati ji.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. सुमिरन कर ले मना, छिन छिन राधा रमना। तन को भी होगा तजना, संग जाए हरि भजना। शिशु बनी रो रो के मना, प्रेम मांग ना है साधना। सुमिरन कर ले मना, छिन छिन राधा रमना। Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Swati ji, Radhe Radhe. Riya ji, please go ahead.
Riya ji. Yeah, Radhe
Thank
Radhe.
you, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
सुमिरन कर ले मना, छिन छिन राधा रमना। सुमिरन कर ले मना, छिन छिन राधा रमना। तन को भी होगा तजना, संग जाए हरि भजना। शिशु बनी रो रो के मना, प्रेम मांग गाना है साधना। सुमिरन 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 कर ले मना, छिन छिन राधा रमना।
Thank you, Riya ji. I can go as well quickly. So it says your body will not accompany you after death. Yeah, it's a rental. We all have to leave after a while, and only devotion or the spiritual merit is something that goes along with us, as Lord Krishna has promised in Bhagavad Gita as well. And devotion means to cry like a child and begging him for the gift of divine love. So that is the state we have to reach. People who can cry easily, we are blessed in that sense, I would say. Please do share your tears and cheers both around. I think that will be helpful for a lot of us as well. So let me do that now. सुमिरन कर ले मना, छिन छिन राधा रमना। तन को भी होगा तजना, संग जाए हरि भजना। शिशु बनी रो 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 के मना, प्रेम मांगना है साधना। सुमिरन 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 कर ले मना, छिन छिन राधा रमना। Okay, so thank you again, everyone, for a very engaging session, and thank you, Monica ji, once again, for a very candid sharing of your spiritual journey. And I think it was a super hit, as you can see from so many comments that are flowing in. Pretty amazing and motivating for the audience as well. I must say that.
Pleasure is all mine, Nitin ji. We all are beautiful souls here, so they would anyways give good feedback. So
have been formally established as a great storyteller, okay? Like I had told you the first time I met you, after you told me you're a project manager, blah, blah, blah. I told you you will be a great storyteller. People have already confirmed it today. There's no going back now. So thank you again for coming forward and sharing your candid, the candid admissions around your journey. And thank you everybody for your engaging, enthusiastic participation like every day. And have a blessed rest of your day and great rest of your evening ahead. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We'll continue on our this fascinating journey that we all are on. Thank you.
Forgot to mention, this presentation is going to fetch a lot of points to enthusiastic team.
Is not happy with that. Shamji, motivate your team. I think Shri Ramya is already coming up with a plan to do a presentation along.
This was not planned before कि ऐसा भी कुछ होएगा. ये तो मैं तो daily बोलता हूँ. I will speak daily to motivate everybody around me, around you.
See,
This is not fair,
you
Monica.
should get point every day. I agree.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome, yeah.
Good night. Good day then. I'll see you
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
Bye.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Bye.